Good morning, children, and welcome to your social science class. Hope you're enjoying your social science sessions with me and everyone is safe at home. Studying also, washing hands again because infection is in air. Wear a mask if someone is sick in your house. Okay? Now, today I'll be taking a very interesting topic and you will be enjoying also of history. Today we'll be taking of history. And that also from different places. I've taken few great leaders. India, we can say, Greece, South Africa. So what we have taken? We have taken great leaders. What I've brought today for you all, great leaders. Children, you all know that history has a list of great leaders. You know this, na? What is history? When we are studying about the past events, it becomes history. History is studying of past events, what has occurred in past. So whatever happens, a chapter increases in your history. So we are having a long list of great people who sacrificed their life for the sake of humanity and a great source of inspiration for all of us. You're getting my point? Means these leaders, they sacrificed their life for humanity. They sacrificed their life for humanity and they are still remembers for the deeds they have done. Okay, for the deeds they have done. Now we'll be studying why they are remembered. Why they are remembered, what they have done. So history is providing with us to us with a list of great leaders who sacrificed their life for humanity. Now we'll be studying about Abraham Lincoln, who fought for the racial discrimination, slavery. Then Mahatma Gandhi, who fought for India's freedom from the Britishers. Socrates, who was a great philosopher. Then we have Nelson Mandela, who fought for the racial discrimination in South Africa. Okay, so I'm going to share screen with you all. Hope you will enjoy this history session of great leaders and children. If they are remembered, they are having values which we have to put in our lives or we have to follow them. Okay, so first we'll be going with Abraham Lincoln. You know who was Abraham Lincoln? Which definition of government he gave? And we are also following. We are also following. That is democracy. India is a democratic country. You know this, na? India is a democratic country. So Abraham Lincoln gave the definition: government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So India has also followed this. India is also a democratic country. So Abraham Lincoln gave this definition of democracy, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Okay. Now I will start sharing the screen with you all. Now see on the screen what you are having. 9 great leaders: Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, Socrates, and Nelson Mandela, which we'll be discussing. History has a long list of great people who are remembered long after their death. In this chapter, we shall study about such person who sacrifice their lives for the sake of humanity and are a great source of inspiration to all of us. As I told you before, that history provides us with many more great leaders are there. We are discussing here four. Means after their death also they are remembered. It means they might have done some works of humanity. Can you remember any person like that? Until and unless you find some good qualities. We still remember our teachers. Few teachers we remembered a lot. We respect all the teachers, but when we were in your age, we also used to like few teachers. It might be because they might be having too good human values. Okay, now we'll start with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12th, 1809, in a poor family. In a very poor family, he was born. The career of Abraham Lincoln is expressed in the adage from the log cabin to White House. I brought image of parents of Abraham Lincoln, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln. Thomas and Nancy Lincoln. Born on February 12th, 1809, in a poor family, the career of Abraham Lincoln is expressed in the adage from the log cabin to White House. His father, Abraham Lincoln, was a poor farmer, so he was unable to send his son to school. Children, you all should learn from these great leaders. While I'm reading, you all should also pay attention. See, he was a poor farmer. Who? Abraham Lincoln's father, that is Thomas Lincoln. He was unable to send his son to school. He was unable to send his son. So Abraham had to work as a farm laborer and a log chopper. Log means big pieces of wood, chopper means cutting. But he had a great desire to study further. See, children, he wanted to study, but his father was not having money to send him to school. And see, children, your parents are working so hard to send you all to school. So it is my humble request, children, when parents are working so hard for you and you are having facilities, then you all should study. You all should study, okay? You all should study hard and listen to your parents. Excuse me. And listen to your parents. They are providing with you good books, good stationery, good school. Nowadays, so you are at home. Just excuse me. Nowadays, so you are at home. But you all should work hard. Okay. See, Abraham Lincoln's father was very poor. He was not having money to send his child to school. But Abraham Lincoln had a desire to study. And that's why he qualified as a lawyer. He qualified as a lawyer. Now, at the age of 25, Abraham Lincoln entered politics and was elected to the Illinois. See, children, if you have a strong desire for anything, you get it. It's not that you're having a desire that I want a new video game, I want a big laptop, I can't study my these classes on this laptop. No, I'm against this thing. Desire means if you have a strong wish and if you work hard for that, you will get that thing in your life. I'm concerned about the studies part and your aim and goal in your life. That I'm concerned. For that I'm talking. Don't think that ma'am was telling that if you have a strong desire, if you are having elder brother and he says no father, I want a bike, that is a wrong desire. That is a wrong goal. That's a wrong achievement you want from your parents. That don't compel them for these things. Don't compel them for these things. I'm telling you that from your inner side you should have a desire or wish. No, I have to study hard. My parents are doing so much for me nowadays during corona pandemic. How my parents are giving me food. So you all should understand these things. It's a tough time for each and every person of this world. Okay, children, don't waste things at home and you should not waste food also. Take that much you want. Okay, children, it's very difficult to earn. And try to listen to your parents and don't demand useless things. And go for a simple food. It's not that you're telling your parents make this, and then you have a throat infection. Then again, it's a cause of tension. You know nowadays what everyone is saying that corona is in air. So if anything comes to your throat, then you are in the danger zone and full family is affected. You're having grandparents also at home. So you all have to keep these things in mind. And it's better when you're at home, eat good food, do exercises and study. Play also with your parents or with your cousins if you have a joint family or your sister and brothers in your house. But study hard also. Don't waste time, it is very precious, and you all at home, you all are having online classes. At the age of 25, Abraham Lincoln entered politics and was elected to the Illinois state legislature. At that time, slavery was common in the southern states of America. Slavery was common in the southern states of America. Now, at that, the slaves who were brought from Africa were sold and purchased in the open market. The slaves who were brought from Africa were sold and purchased in the open market. Means the human beings, they were sold and purchased in the open market. Means everyone was saying money on them, that he's a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Like this they were sold. If someone sells us, then it's very bad. So at that time, human beings were sold and purchased in the open market, like we are buying vegetables and fruits and other things from the market. They were made to stand in the open areas, and many people were there. They used to say, I'll buy this for 10,000, I'll buy this for 20,000. So they were putting money on them. It was a very bad practice that was carried over there in America. And that also in the southern states of America. The condition of these slaves were no better than that of animals. Quite obvious, if someone is insulting you in open, it means you are having no one is having respect for you all. They are having no humanity. So their condition was no better than that of animals. They were kept in chains, had to work for long hours, and were at the mercy of their landlords. See, they were tied. They were tied in chains, and for long hours they used to work hard because they were having no one to get them all free from slavery at that time. So when Abraham Lincoln entered politics, at that time slavery was quite common in the southern states of America. And the slaves were brought and sold in the open market, like we sell the vegetables, 20 rupees kg, 50, like we have this now. Similarly, so it was very insulting at that time. They were kept in chains, had to work for long hours, and were at the mercy of their landlord. Abraham Lincoln was against the system of slavery and wanted to put an end to this inhumane system. Now, Americans were divided on the issue of slavery. Okay? Abraham Lincoln was against the act of slavery and he wanted to put an end. Quite obvious, some will not like and some will like. Those who have made the slaves, why they will like? Because they want more slaves. They want more human beings to work for them in their fields, in their houses. Like this, they were every time down. No respect they were having. They were insulted, tortured. So Abraham Lincoln was against slavery system, and that's why America was divided on the issue of slavery. On the issue of slavery. Okay? Anyone can ask you, Abraham Lincoln was against what? He was against slavery. And what he wanted to put an end? He wanted to put an end to the inhumane system. Americans were divided on the issue of slavery. The people of the southern states favored the slavery system. The people of the southern states favored the slavery system. Why? Why they favored? Because slavery was very common in the southern states. It was quite common in the southern states. That's why the people of the southern states favored. They wanted that it should continue. They wanted that slavery system should continue. Getting my point? So the people of the southern states favored the slavery system, whereas the people of northern states of America were against it. So where slavery was common, that side people, they wanted. Yes, who doesn't want slaves? Who doesn't want servants? And that also they have to work for each and everything. You're not respecting them, you're torturing them. Every time you are torturing them. Every time you are torturing them. Thereafter, therefore, Abraham Lincoln became unpopular in the southern states of USA. Yes, because he was against slavery and the slave sister slavery was quite common in southern states. So he became unpopular in the southern states of USA. You know, the Constitution of USA is based on equality of man, and slavery was illegal. And slavery was illegal over there. Now, do you know there are 50 states in USA? Out of these, 13 states are called original states. There are 50 states in USA. Out of these, 13 states are called original states. All other states joined USA. All other states joined USA later on. Two states, Alaska and Hawaii Islands, are not connected to the mainland. Okay. Children, it is very interesting. You all will enjoy with this. In 1860, at the age of 49, Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th president of USA, United States of America. When in 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th president of USA. The southern states that favored slavery, the southern states that favored slavery did not want to remain with the northern states. Quite obvious. The southern states that favored slavery, they didn't want to join the group of northern states, and they demanded secession from USA, that they should be separated. It was a very serious problem for the integrity of the United States. The northern and the southern groups were rigid on the issue, which resulted in a civil war. So when Abraham Lincoln became the president of USA, he became the president of USA at the age of 49 in 1860. In 1860, he became the 16th president of USA. February 12, 1809, he was born. 1809 and 1860, at the age of 49, he became the 16th president of USA. The southern states that favored slavery did not want to remain with the northern states and demanded secession from USA. It was a very serious problem for the integrity of the United States. So the northern and the southern groups were rigid on the issue, which resulted in a civil war. This war is known as the American Civil War in the history of America. So on this issue only, there resulted a civil war. This issue resulted in a civil war, and this war is known as what? The American Civil War in the history of America. And this war lasted for how many years? This war lasted for 4 years. How many years? 4 years. The northern states under Abraham Lincoln won the war. The northern states under Abraham Lincoln won the war. It was a great victory for Abraham Lincoln, and it marked the end of slavery in America. It marked the end of slavery in America. So it is very simple what I explained to you, that in 1860, how can you learn this? How can you remember this, children? And you have to remember from GK point of view, from history point of view, and whenever you give competitive exams, you should know this. In 1860, at the age of 49, Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th president of USA. The southern states that favored slavery did not want to remain with the northern states and demanded secession from USA. It was a very serious problem, so it led to a civil war. And this war came to be known as the American Civil War in the history of America. It lasted for how many years? It lasted for 4 years. The northern states under Abraham Lincoln won this war, and it was a great victory for Abraham Lincoln, and it marked the end of slavery in America. The US president is elected for 4 years. Do you know for how many years the president of India is elected? 5 years. The US president is elected for 4 years and Indian president for 5 years. See, our constitution has adapted democracy's definition from Abraham Lincoln only. Every time you say define the democracy given by Abraham Lincoln, so democracy is defined as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Abraham Lincoln was elected president for the second term in 1865 and he declared a policy of peace. Abraham Lincoln was elected president for the second term in 1865 and he declared a policy of peace. In 1865, he was shot dead by John Wilkes while watching a play, Our American Cousin. I think on 14th April he was shot dead and on April 15 he died. So he died on April 15, 1865. He was shot dead by John Wilkes while watching a play, Our American Cousin. See, children, how people get strength. I brought the picture of John Wilkes also so that you should know. And a beautiful scene of the English play. Just see, he was shot dead. The persons who are good, who are very true, who are helpful to humanity, how can one do like this to him? It's very common. Same thing happened with Mahatma Gandhi ji also. Nathuram Godse shot dead. He was also shot dead by Nathuram Godse. Similarly, Abraham Lincoln. It means we people don't have respect for the humanity and for the person who is not selfish, who is not having any personal motive, and we are shooting that persons. These are not the good values. We are not thinking about good values. And we are shooting the person who is having good values. Why? How our conscience allows? How Nathuram Godse is conscience allowed to shoot Mahatma Gandhi ji? So all the good persons had a tragic end, mostly those who worked for humanity. It's wrong. See, he worked to end slavery. He worked. Who? Abraham Lincoln worked hard to end slavery. But see the result? In 1865, he was shot dead by John Wilkes while watching a play, Our American Cousin. Now see, as a result of the American Civil War, 3 million slaves in the USA were freed. 3 million. How the people were treated in USA. And after 2 years, a law was passed banning slavery. Like in India, also many laws were passed against sati, child marriage, polygamy. So when a law is passed, then if any person who follows that thing is severely punished by the Constitution. So as a result of the American Civil War, 3 million slaves in the USA were freed. And after 2 years, a law was passed banning slavery. A law was passed banning slavery. Now see, how many million slaves were there at that time in USA? How many millions? 3 million slaves were freed. See how in southern states they were using the humans like slave, and 3 million slaves were there at that time. That's very shocking. Okay, children, I think you might have enjoyed studying about Abraham Lincoln. So he was, excuse me, Abraham Lincoln was the first president to be assassinated. He was the first president to be assassinated, and Abraham Lincoln has been remembered as the great emancipator because he worked to end slavery in the United States. Now, question comes here is, what is emancipator? It means someone who frees others from bondage. And what do I mean by here emancipator? When I'm using this word, I'm making it clear. Emancipator, it means someone who frees other from bondage. It means someone who is freeing others from those who are under someone. Okay. So he has been remembered as the great emancipator because he worked hard to end slavery in the United States. So how many slaves were freed? 3 million slaves were freed in the USA. Okay, and after 2 years, a law was passed banning slavery. So children, Abraham Lincoln ended slavery in USA, and then after 2 years, a law was passed banning slavery. I think you might have enjoyed studying about Abraham Lincoln, a great person, and we are having much more in my treasure of great leaders. And now, after 2 or 3 lines, we'll continue this in our next session of great leaders, and there you will enjoy with Mahatma Gandhiji, the father of the nation, who was a simple and a pious soul, who led the nation in its freedom movement. Rabindranath Tagore gave him the title of Mahatma, and he continues to be known by this name till today. We also call like this Mahatma Gandhiji. So who was he? He was the father of nation, a simple and a pious man. So you remember the person, those who are great leaders, they are very simple and pious. No? Okay. So who gave name Mahatma to Mahatma Gandhiji? It was given to him by Rabindranath Tagore, and he continues to be known by this name till today. Okay. So children, I think you all might have enjoyed today great leaders, and we studied about Abraham Lincoln. Hope you all might have liked, and you might have learned a lot from his life. He worked for humanity, and he worked hard to get the slaves freed from the clutches of the people. So now I'm ending my session here. Tomorrow we'll be continuing with Mahatma Gandhiji, the father of our nation. And I know you all have studied a lot about him till today, but you all will be enjoying that with me. Now I'm taking leave from you all. Stay blessed and please study and have a nice day.